We are taking Google Suits today, and what we'll be taking will be on Google Forms. And here is the logo we have for Google Forms. It is one of the easiest software to use that I know of. It is one of the easiest. It's just, I mean, it's a drag and drop setting. It's something you can use anytime. And for any average internet knowledgeable person, Google Forms is definitely for you. There's so many unlimited themes you can use. So now, yes, this is just it. It's easy and quick to create survey. What you see is what you get. Once you open Google Forms, I mean, you just know what next to do. Like, it is very user friendly. Jen, as I said, drag and drop settings. You don't have to code anything. You don't have to buy anything. Just drag what you want. Whether you want a text, a short paragraph, just you can get it at Google Forms. So before we move on to the practical aspects, I'd just like us to know the benefits so we can know how beneficial we could use Google Forms for our education, for our businesses, and anything else we want to use it for. So the first one is it has unlimited free Google templates, as I said earlier. Once you open your Google Forms, you will see some templates already even inbuilt for you. So you could click on one or you could start a blank one if you want. It depends on you. Now, there's I believe most of us are UI students. So we have a student mail, and this student mail is actually very beneficial to us. But most of us don't know about the benefit. So I attended a program, and here they told us our student mail is very important. And I know you are a lot of us, like, we used to forget our mails, our passwords, because we think it's not important. So if you are using your student mail, there are some websites, there are some software that you could get what you're supposed to buy with your normal email for free. So I'd just like to advise everyone to start using their students' mail, especially for education aspect. So in the practical aspect, I'll be showing you the differences between the students' mail and the normal mail. Although it's just a formality, it's nothing special. So the next one is collaboration with others. Google Doc was taught earlier, and there are some several things where you can actually someone maybe I'm in Nigeria and someone from South Korea could comment on what I've written. So that's what is called collaboration with others. For Google Forms too, you could send your the link to them via email to help you collaborate in what you're doing, probably edit the form or whatever you want to do. Then there's something called logic trending. It's actually what you use based on what a person has replied. Perhaps you have, um, let's say, a questionnaire. So you are putting this questionnaire out. So let's say you're asking that, okay, are you a UI student or uni learning student? Probably if the person is a UI student, there's a particular question meant to go for that person. If it's for uni learning students, there's a particular question meant to go for that person. So that is what is called logic trending. Then the email notification for new responses. As someone is filling your form, immediately they submit and press the button, you're going to get email notifications. But it depends on you if you want this or not. Then the response destination. Yeah, there's a default spreadsheet collection. That's the next line. Yeah. So if you want a new spreadsheet, of course, it's Google Spreadsheet. So if you want a new one, or you want, probably you were having a form before, so you want to continue with using Google Form, so you want your answers to be going to that spreadsheets that you already have, you could use existing one or you could create a new one, and you could download your responses, of course. That is also one of the benefits. It is mobile friendly and you can customize it anyhow you want it. Then moving on, we're going to be focusing on the education and business aspect. So for the education aspect, there's something they call GCs for education. Yeah. So there are some apps under GCs for education, and I believe Google Forms is one of them. So that's why we're treating this right now. Then some of the benefits is pop quiz slash test. Um, Most of the 100 level students in the last sessions, they did online classes, so they were giving tests through Google Forms, yes. And we believe this was actually very convenient for some, but due to the internet data restraints for some people. Well, that's not what we're focusing on. Then the curriculum survey, you could use it for curriculum survey, attendance, students' work progress, grading, evaluation for probably students in the food sector. You have a sensory analysis. So instead of you just giving out papers and then collating everything manually, you could use Google Form for that and you could get your answers. Like you could weigh it, the average points, whether the person likes this type of flavor more than this, everything your answers, you could weigh it in Google Form. Then the questionnaire, which many of us would probably be needing it for later. Then the business aspect is for the online shop. You have your business you're doing and you don't want people texting you too much. So you could just put out your Google Form link out. If you want to shop here, you could go and check it, what I'm selling and buying. Then the other forms, customer feedbacks, how your business is, do they like how you're doing it and all. Then the time off request is obviously for workers. If you want to take a leave from work, so you could just input, use the Google Forms through your boss or something. So yeah, that's it. Then yes, the uh, Google Form features. We have texts, short text. Perhaps you want to limit the user's answer to just maybe not more than 5 words or something. You could use the short text. If you want a very long answer, you could use the paragraph text. Then we have multiple choice where the user can pick more than two options or three. It depends on you, depends on how you set it. Then we have check boxes, choose from a list. We have scale, we have grid, we have date, we have time. So we're going to be going through all these in the practical aspects when we get there. So that's it. Now, okay. So this is my Google form. This is my normal mail. I'm using my normal mail for this. Yeah, so I have a few Google forms I've created. There are some that I just created like it didn't take me more than 2 minutes to create. Like it was just so quick and fast. I know of this one, like I didn't use more than 2 minutes to just create it. So this is the difference between the your normal Google Mail and student mail. So here we have the template. Now, if you want a contact information or RSVP for your wedding or your party invite, t-shirt sign up. So these are the Google templates. You could check them anyone you want. So you could just pick on one and just use it directly. But if you don't want that, you could use a blank one. So these are the templates that we have for the Google form for your normal Gmail and all that. There are others too because it is unlimited. So let's say find a time. Let's click on this. Yes. Ah, yes. So this is probably having a business meeting and you want to know when everybody will be available. This is a template that is already made for you. All you just need to do is to edit it to your liking and all. So here is where you could change the topic of the subject of the form. Then this is the form, yes. So you could change this image. You could change, perhaps you want something else to be here, probably not allergies or dietary restrictions. You could change it here anyhow you want it. So this is just an example of a template that is ready for you to use. So now to the student's mail, I'm going to open mail. Yes, before I forget, there are several ways you can open up your Google Forms because there are some times when I wasn't actually quite familiar with it and I had problems like opening. So I have to search on Google Forms and then it will take me somewhere else. So I found a easier way and better way to actually open it. So now if you're using Chrome and you're signed into your browser, I'm signed into my browser right now. So you could just come here and get all your Google apps all your Google apps is ready for you here. And you also have your Gmail, like a default Gmail link there. So this is accounts, Gsearch, anything you want. So you could scroll down and find here is the Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Slides, and Google Forms is a little bit down. Yes. And you could also check more from Google if what you're finding is not there. So another way to open it up is also to go to your Gmail. If you're signed into your Gmail, yeah, this is my student mail. Now, if you are signed into your Gmail, you could also locate these Google Apps dot. Yeah, yes, you have it here. The Gmail, the Drive, the Doc, the Sheet, the Slides, everything is here for you to use. So I'll be clicking on the Google Forms. Yeah. Well, yes. I also don't quite use my Gmail, my students' mail, but from now on, now that I've heard of some of the benefits, I think anything education, I will be using it. So I'm going to be using my students' mail to be teaching actually, because I believe this is a student setting education platform. So now this is one of the differences now. The templates on my students' mail are different from the templates in my normal mail. Here is the template in my students' mail, and here is the template for my normal mail. When you have a student's mail, once it has that .edu, it already recognizes it as a student's mail. So Google already sets everything to be in the education aspect. So these are the templates. You have blank quiz, exit ticket, assessment, worksheet, and there are other templates too you could use. Oh, um, so now we are going to be taking a blank form and we'll be looking at the features one by one. And after this, I want everyone to also create their Google Forms at the end of this lesson. So we could just practice on what we have learned and also to continue using it in the future, to just practice it. And these apps are actually, you might not know the benefits now, but sometimes you might need it. Now, for someone like me, I mostly attend MUNs, so you have all these there are departments in the secretariat, so there's public relation and all. So we mostly use these Google Forms. I mean, they are students, 13-year-old, 14-year-olds. So most of them they use all this and they're familiar with it. So it's going to help us a lot. Okay, take a tour. No thanks. All right, this is our Google Form template. This is the worksheet. Now we'll start by changing the topic here. Yeah, so I'm just going to name that. What should I name it? Practice. So yeah, that's it. Now you have untitled form. Here is once your once you start sending your Google Form out, this is the first thing the user will see your the title. So we'll be putting the title to practice. Now you could change the form description if you want. Okay. Yes. So moving on here. Here are the um several features I explained the other time, the paragraph text, short text, multiple choices and all. So here it's asking you to add a question, import questions. So I mean, even once you open this Google Forms, it's just a drag and drop setting, like I said. So it's bringing out all these for you, like add title, description, add the image, then add video, add section. So this section, I'll start from this section. The section is just let's say a page. Now this is my first page here, this practice place and the untitled question. So after clicking another add section, it will, once your user is filling it, once they fill this practice place, Then the add section I press will be for another next page. So let's just add question. Yeah. So here are the features. Do you want a multiple choice? Do you want short answer? Do you want paragraph check versus file upload? Do you want someone to upload a file for you? Linear scale, anything you want. So we are going to be going with the short answer. We're going to be using everything today. So I'm going to be very fast with that. So let's start with the short answer. Now, this question has been set for a short answer. This is where you type the question, and this is just telling you that this is where the user puts the question. I'm going to be showing you the differences. This is, let's say this is the back end, like this is what you are doing. This is not what the user will actually see. They're going to see something else. So we'll just put in this question first, then I'll show you how the user is going to see what you are doing. So let's just add the short question. What is your name? What is your name? Now, for you could limit your user. Okay, there are some questions a user might not want to answer, and you don't want them to skip it. Now, for that, you could just press this required button. So whenever they are trying to submit the form, it won't submit, and it will take them back to this question that okay, you have to fill it. This is required by you to fill it. So that is how you can limit a user from not answering a question. So without them answering that question, they won't be able to submit the form. Okay. So that's for short answer. Then we have another question here. So we are going to be going with the paragraph. Probably you want the person to write a very lengthy stuff, and I mean, okay, just say describe your day. Describe how your day went. So here the person is going to be giving you a very long answer. Like I said, if you want it to be required, you could put required there. If you want an image there, you could put an image there. I don't think an image is necessary for this part. Okay, let's move on. Okay. So we have two questions now. So I'm going to be showing you how the user is going to see it. So you can just say, okay, what's all this? So okay. Let me get the link. Okay, if you want to get the link, you could go to send, then press this part. Then here is the link. You might shorten the URL if you want. So this is a shortened URL. So I'm going to be copying this. Copy. And I'll be taking it to another new tab. Yeah. Copy and Ctrl V. Yeah. Here it is. Can you see okay, as you are working on the Google form, it is directly putting it to your users. So once I change anything at the back end, it is going to show to the users. So here we made this question required. What is your name? This is a short answer. So the line is limited. Although the user could write so many things, but why you're just putting this here is just to tell the user, okay, we want a short answer for this. We don't want you to write something very lengthy. But it depends on the question you actually ask. So now, yes, this is it. I've not yet filled it, and this is a very required question. So without the user filling it, you won't be able to submit. It will keep telling you this is a required question, so the user will know that I have to fill this part. So this is just what could I call it? Let's say a limitation or validation, yeah, something like that. So for the user to know that okay, this question you have to fill it. So what is your name? Name is Raji. So here you want the user to describe how their day went. Okay. a very lengthy answer. Let's just put something there and submit. So it has been submitted. Now it is telling the user submit under response. We are going to be getting back to that first again. So now, once I submitted that form, you already got at the response option that you already have one response. So as people are filling the form, you're going to be getting a notification. Although I've not yet set it for Google Form to be sending me a notification after a person submits it. So anytime someone submits, you could come here and just check the responses. Rajin Motalai, describe how your day went. So this is just a summary, like one response. This is just a summary of it. Okay, this person has responded. What is your name? Assuming we have two responses, it's going to be putting it there like, what is your name? Rajin Motalai. Then the next person, what is your name? Like how they are submitting it. Describe how your day went. That's just a summary. Now for questions, we have two questions here. Describe how your day went and what is your name. So you could go to each questions and be checking it. So that's why I said those students that are in the food aspects, probably what you have to is you have to do a sensory analysis. So instead of you giving paper out, you could just use Google Form. Now you want to be checking for a product, maybe strawberry flavor. So you want to check it now. You start taking your paper and be checking about 100 forms with papers. So you could just use Google Form. Now you have Rajimota. Like if I submit um another form, it is the another response is going to come in. So you could see maybe for strawberry flavor how people are grading it. This person graded it 5, this person graded it 4. So you could see it here. And you could go to the next questions. Next question, sorry. Describe how your day went. So you could just see it here. Or you could use individual options. So here the individual option is going to be showing you all the responses by one user. That's for the individual responses. So now let's go back to the questions. We- So uh we've used let's add another question. We've used the multi-choice, the short answer paragraph. Now here is the multi-choice. Okay. Oh, okay. So here is the multi-choice. Okay. Let's see. Um so you're asking a question and you want a multi-choice, maybe option A, option B, option C. So you could use this option A. Let's see. Um, then another option. Okay. The So here it is. If I go back to the form, let me see, let me reload it. Okay, see, here is the multi-choice. So as I am typing in my Google form at the back end, the user is going to be getting. So once you make a correction, the user is going to be getting it just like that. So the Google form is very easy, it's very convenient, and it is user friendly anytime. And now I'm using a laptop. You could also use a mobile. Although that might not be very convenient, but yes, you could use your mobile. And whoever is um whoever is viewing the form from a mobile, whoever is viewing the form from a laptop, um it is mobile friendly. Like, how am I going to put it? Anyways, you can use it from any device. Yeah, so let's go back. Time is now. Okay, so let's add another question. I just want us to see how all the features are. Okay, now check boxes. Here is where you want the person to pick more than one option. So what would you like? So you want the person to pick more than one answer. So your option one could be fried rice. Your option two, let's say yam. And three, sorry, excuse me. Say noodles. Option four, let's say we have amala. So you want the person to pick more than one answer. So here, oh, sorry. Okay, so here you have it. The person could pick more than one answer for it. So I could pick all. I could pick. I could pick three. I could pick one. If I want, I won't pick anything. So that's what checkboxes does for this. Okay. Yeah, I haven't showed you. Let's go back to this. So now to pick the correct answer for this. I didn't show you that the other time. Oh, something on my mouse. Let's just move on. I'll come back to this. So now you could add another question under this one. Perhaps you omitted a question. You could add it under this one, or you could add it under this one. So it depends on you. All you just have to do is go to this, then you add a question under it. So the question is going to be under the section you want, and this is another one that you've put there before. So the next one is drop down. So yeah, let me just show you how this works. Um, so, so view append. So you got option one, University of Ibadan. University of Ilorin. University of Vegas. So here, let's come back to when you reload it, it's going to bring that answer, the question we've put there. So this is it. So this is basically the drop down. So here you have it. What school do you attend? Oh, University of Ibadan, University of Ilorin. So that's how the drop down works. So to the next feature. Okay. Add question. Okay. So you want a file upload. Okay. Perhaps you have a competition or you have a challenge and you don't want them to keep sending email to you. So you could just use Google Form for them to submit their file. So and this Google Form, you can close it. For now, it is opened, it is not yet closed. Like people can still put in their responses. So you can just use this file upload options for people to get the files. So the user can just upload their files and it will go to your drive, to your Google Drive. So and whoever wants to upload in Google Form, the user Google has to be signed into Google. So the form is going to tell them that you have to get signed to Google. So that's not exactly your worry here. That's why I said it's actually very user friendly. So loading, loading. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, it is. You could say okay, upload your file here. Upload your file. So you upload your position paper here. Okay. So you can allow only specific file types. Perhaps one of the specification you gave them is um, a PDF or .docx or .doc. So you can just say allow. So here it is. So perhaps you only want video, you only want audio. Everything is already put down here. It's a drag and drop setting for you. You don't need to stress yourself. Anything. And maximum of file they can upload. If you want one, if you want five, if you want 10, it depends on you really. The maximum file size. Yeah, if you don't want the heavy file, so yeah, it is 1 MB, 10 MB, 100 MB, anyhow you want it. So here is a warning. This form can accept up to 1 GB of file. You can change that one also. View folder where the file will be automatically uploaded. So yeah, see, everything is already set for you. You don't even need to you don't need to tell it, okay, I want it to be here. It automatically creates a folder in your Google Drive. So once someone responds to upload their file, it is going to upload it here. Everything is just easy for you. It's made for you at your own convenience. So that's so let's move back to where we are. So we are not allowing any specification. So that's it. To check how this works, let's go back to our form. So this is what the user will be seeing um whenever you edit something there, it's going to show here. So remember that. So in case you are editing it, or probably you might want to close the form so you are done. So yeah, that's it. Yeah, so here it is. Add file. So now I'm signed in to Google. So that's why it's not asking me that I should sign in. So if you're not signed in, it will tell you automatically. So I could select file from my device. I could drag file. I could submit from my drive. So it's anyhow you want it. So I think I'm using my student mail, so I currently don't have anything. Upload. Select from device. So I'm just showing you how it works for the users. So here it is. Everything here. It should be this. Okay, just pick this. Now open. You could also upload a video. You could upload a video if you want. Open. So here you have the file. Then upload. It is that easy. Okay. So yeah, that's it. So let's go back to the multi-choices. Now add another question. Now we have the linear scale. Okay. Perhaps you want to ask the user to rate something, how their preference, yes. I think that's the best way to use it. Their preference. So you could use linear scale, or to get to know how much this user knows about something. So you could use this linear scale. So let's say you want 1 to 5 or 1 to 7. Let's use 1 to 5 for now. So anyhow you want it. Yeah, let's start from 0. So you want to say, okay, um probably you say rate, yes, rate this flavor. Rate this flavor. So let's say perhaps the form is about food, strawberry, pineapple, banana. So you could say rate this strawberry flavor. Now the label, it is optional actually, but I like to use it. So you are probably telling the person that from 0 to 2.5 is bad, from 2.5 to 5 is moderate, it is good. So you can just say bad. I'm going to show you how it's going to look. Excellent. Okay. So as you are editing here, it is going to be showing your form. So I keep repeating that so you know. You might want to close the form for the user sees that. So once you reload it, it's going to show whatever you are doing there is going to be showing here to the user. So can you see? Rate this strawberry flavor. So the user could just pick 0. Then you know it is very, very bad. If the user picks 2, average. Then if they pick 5, you know, excellent. 4, excellent too, I guess. So that's how the linear scale works. So let's go back to our back end. So add question again. So we have the multiple choice grid, checkbox grid, date, time. So you have row, column. This works. Say commit C1. WHO. Let's see. So let's see how this works here. I'm trying to show us how um how you are dragging, drop and dragging. Then you also get to see how it is going to look for the user. So you know how you want to edit it more. So here it is. So basically you're asking the person, okay, you're asking the person, what do you prefer for your first committee? Do you want the WHO, the World Health Organization, or do you want UNSC, United Nations Security Council? So, what I want for my first committee, what I prefer for my first committee. So you know that the person prefers um, WHO first to UNSC. So then for the second committee, we just come here and pick here, and you could also pick this. So you just this is just to show how the person really wants to be in WHO. That's just it for that. So let's go to the next one. Oh yeah, of course there's a question there. Your committee preference. Committee preference. Okay, that's it. So add another question. So this is just the question aspect. We still have pictures actually. Yes. Still have pictures, videos and all that. Let's just finish or upload this first. Then you have the checkbox grid. Sorry. This is the checkbox grid. Yeah. So the first one is the multi-choice grid. Now this checkbox grid, I think you can pick two. Okay, let's see how this works. It's just that you can check box the two, just like the other one, but this one is a grid. It's different from the first one we did. Committee one, committee two. So column one, let's say uh, FAO, then UNHCR. Now let's see how this works. Here, okay. Yeah, here it is. So here's the difference between the multi-choice grid and the checkbox grid. Anywhere you hear checkbox, that means you could pick more than one answer. So here you can't pick more than one. So this would be very convenient for preferences to know if you don't want them to pick two preferences. So okay, so that's how this works. Let's move on to the next one. And you could add your question. Here we have the committee preference. You can also add a question here, your committee preference also. Anyhow you want it. Committee preference. Moving on to the next feature for the questions. Now we have date and time left. Okay, that's good. Date and time. Okay. Uh, oh yeah. Mm, mm, this is just the random questions, just to show you how this feature works. Sorry, my still loading. Okay. Apologies, my internet is slow. The internet connection is slow. Wow. Okay. I think we'll have to move on to the next one. Add question. Oh no. Okay. So this is the option for the time. Oh, sorry, we're having a technical problem here. Okay, damn it. What time do you prefer? So let's come here and see how the date and the time works. The date and the time. Yeah, so here it is. When is Aisha's birthday? So you could just say, pick your random date, 03, 05. Oh, I should have changed that to when was Aisha born. But let's just use this 2022. So what time do you prefer? You probably have a meeting with your friends. Okay, probably that's no. A formal setting. Let's go with that. So I'll be available 12 o'clock p.m. 12 o'clock p.m. So yeah, here is that. So that's all for the question aspect. So we have here is the short answer. And yeah, you could like I said, if you want a user to answer a particular question, you can make it required. So and that is why this is here. So once the user sees that, to know it is required, but not everybody might know that. So whenever you want to submit it, it will tell the user to actually answer this question. So here we have the short answer, the um, paragraph, the multi choice, the school you attend. This is a drop down. This is a checkbox. Upload your file. Linear scale, rate it. Then this is a multi choice grid. This is a checkbox grid, and this is date and time. Yeah, so that's all for the question. So if you want, probably you have a question somewhere in your document, so you just want to import it, you could use this um option. I don't have any question right now, so I won't be able to use it. So you could just press this and then import questions. So if you have a file, always ensure you are signed in. You even have to be signed in for it to bring Google Forms for you. So you could just um pick it from your Google Drive, or you select it from uh your laptop. I don't think that is possible. So it's just select a form for you. Perhaps you have a previous form, so you want the form to be added to the present form you're working to. So you can use import questions setting, then add title and description. Okay, you want this particular question to have title and description. Then you want image, add image. Okay, so let's put an image here. Upload Google Drive. Let's upload. Okay, let's use Google Drive. So you can Google image search by URL, photos, camera, anyone you want. Let's do is taking time. So browse. So I'm going to be picking an image from my laptop. Okay, let's use this. Okay. So here you have it, your image title. You say United Nations Commission for science and technology development. Okay. So here you have it. Let's say you have an image here. So you could just base your next question depending on the image you have. Oh, I've already written the title. So you could say, what is the full yeah, let's use short answer. What is the full meaning of UNCSTD? Let's use short answer. Come up here. So now let's check how the user is going to see it. So voila, here you have it. What is the full meaning of UNCSTD? So this image is working for this question. Okay. The next one, we have video. Yeah. So let's add video. Video search. You have URL. So you are going to be using YouTube for it, or you use a URL. If you have a YouTube video, let's search for one. Two. So I'm just doing this to show you how it works, so you can know that everybody. So you could just do your own thing. Fast internet. Oh, why is it taking so long? It's taking so long. Okay. 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 So let's copy the URL. Ctrl C. So Ctrl V. Oh, sorry. URL. Ctrl V. Okay. So you can select that now. Video is selected. Okay. So let's just keep that. So this is just how you use a YouTube video in Google Forms. Sorry. Yeah. And now on to the next add section here. Okay, let me put it here. So if I'm on this image and I add a section, this is going to go to the next section. What is the full meaning of UNCSTD is going to go to the next section. So you have to be very careful under what you are for adding the next section. So let's just add the next section here. So after section 1, continue to the next section. So whenever the user finish filling this page, it is going to tell them to go to the next page, and that is the next section at the back end. So you could also name this section, maybe say practice 2 description. I don't think we need that. So let's just add a few questions. So I'll show you how it works in the other part. Mm, mm, let's make this required. So you can make your um you can make your question required. Response validation. So this response validation is just maybe you want them to put in something in a range. Yeah. So you can use that. So if if the user does not input what you want the range to be in between, it is not going to submit the answer for it. So let's add another question. Add another question for it. So so you could add option. Yes. No. Yeah. Can also add image for this. Can insert image for it. So come to. I'm going to make this required. So yeah, so let's check how it works for the next section. Here we have it. So we are going to reload this. Yeah, so if you press next, oh sorry, you have to fill in a required question first before you can go to the next page. So next, yeah, so this is the next page. What is your name? Is the lesson boring? So basically, that's all for the question aspect. And you can have several pages. You could have up to 5 pages. It depends on you. It depends on what you want to use it for. So let's go back here. So since you have the sections, you could duplicate the section, you can move the section, and you can delete the section. If you are deleting the section, entire thing you've done in this section is going to be wrapped up. If you want to duplicate it, you're going to have a replica of this particular section. And if you want to move it, perhaps you want to move it down to the other section and you want the second section to be first section and the first section to be the second section, you can use the move section button. Let's move on. So I think that's basically all for that. So you can make this a quiz. So make a quiz, you assign points, values, you set answers. So yeah, that is why this part. So you can assign answer key. So you could put let's see 2 points. Yes. Then choose correct answer. So that was what I said I wanted to show you the other time. It was not working. So I was trying to pick the correct answer for it. So that's why it's not working. So you have to it's a quiz for it to work. Now you have several. I don't think okay. Yeah, a multi choice. Most times just a answer is required. But yeah, I guess you could use two. So And you could add answer feedback. Yes, enter feedback. Okay, if the person probably chose lion, obviously that is not the correct answer. So you could say, oh, oh, no, a lion is the very king of the jungle. But obviously there are other, a dog is also wrong. So it just depends on you, on what you want the feedback to be. And if the person chose the correct answers, say, you could just write any random feedback. Yes. Mm, so you say keep going. So save that. Yeah. So that is when you click make a quiz option in the settings. So make sure of that. Now, to release the grades, we just like how we did the last sessions where we had math test, English test, and all using Google Forms. So sometimes it is immediately after each submission. You Google Form will automatically mark it for the person and give them the answer, or you could do it later, a manual review. Maybe okay, the test is for 15 minutes, so you want everybody to submit first. So after you close the form, then you are going to come back here and release the grade. So that's just it. So here is the lock mode. Yeah. So if you're having a chemistry test and okay, everybody's at home, there's no one to monitor them to see how, okay, are they going to other web application. So you could use the lock mode. When it is on the lock mode, you the user is not allowed to open other applications. So if this is on, that means the user will not be able to go to another file, another folder for it. So this is a Chromebook setting apparently. So the feature is only available to schools using managed Chromebooks. Yeah, so that's sad, I guess. So yes, missed questions. Respondents can see which questions were answered incorrectly. When you release their grades, correct answers, they can see its point values. They can see how many points for each questions. But when you release the grade, it's going to give them their total score for it. Now, default question points value. Perhaps you want all the points value to be 1 point. You could just come in and put 1 point, 2 points um instead of disturbing yourself and inputting 2 points, 1 point there, like, so you can just come in and do it automatically. That's if you have a default question point value for everything. So responses, collect email address. Yeah. So if I put this here, automatically in the Google form, it's going to tell the user to input their email addresses without you telling them to input their email addresses. If you want a responder to get a copy of their response, perhaps they filled an application, so you want them to also get a copy of the application, you could come here and put this on. You could say always, so anytime anyone fills it, is to send their copy to them, or when requested if the person wants it. So anyone you want, let's just put when requested. Oh, let's put always. Then allow response editing. After the person has submitted, the person could go back and edit their response. Yes, you can always change this. Maybe the deadline is May 30. So during from now, from today, 3rd May to May 30, so the person can edit their response. So you can come back here anytime and put this off, so they won't be able to change their responses again. It depends on you. So now, if you don't want anybody could get the link to your Google Mail. You don't want anybody, you don't want everybody, you don't want just anyone to get in. You could use a sign in, or you could restrict it to users in University of Ibadan organization. So they'll be required to sign in to Google first before. That's what I said earlier, that you'll be required to send it to Google if you want to upload your file and if you want to do all that. Limit to one response, yes. So I was talking about something when I submitted earlier, it showed me submit another form. So you can limit it to one response. You can only fill this form once. You can't fill it twice. So that will prevent let's say multi submission. Yeah. Then total limit for all uploaded file responses. Okay. So this is just a Google form. So presentation. Oh yes, this is what I was talking about. So if you have a if you have a sensory analysis, you could show progress bar, how people have been responding. So you have a multi-choice. So you want to know how people missed the question. You want to know how people got a question. You want to know how people miss the question. You want to know how people get the question. You can use the progress bar. Then shuffle question order. This is for tests, so you don't want students to be copying each other answers. So you can just shuffle the question order. So what it will show for me, the order it will show it for me will not be the same order it will show for my friend. So that's what the shuffle question order works for. So confirmation message, your response and re-recorded, you can edit this. Show link to submit another response. Show link to submit another response. Okay. That one says there. View result summary. Yeah. So view result summary. You want everyone to see how other users have been responding. Perhaps it's just let me see. Let's say it's a questionnaire, so you want others to see what others have picked. Maybe so it will show them the progress bar, a pie chart like that. So that's for the result summary. So you can share it with the respondents if you want. So you can just pick this. Then disable auto save. So form default. Ooh, collect addresses by default, question default. So here you want all the questions to be required by default. You want them to answer all questions. So you can come here and make the questions required by default, all the questions required by default. So you want to collect email addresses by default instead of just saying put your email address here. So once they are signed into Google to collect the email addresses by default, so to just tell them input your email address. So this is what they mean by default. So what else? Customize theme. Yeah. So you can here you can pick a image for here under this practice. You can pick a image for it. So that's what is called theme option. You can change your theme color. You can change the background. So let's change the theme color. So it's changed to orange. So the background color. Yeah. So actually, if you pick a theme color, Google Form automatically changes the background color to what will go well with it, but it's your choice. You can pick your color preference anytime you want. So you can always change it here. It even brings yeah. So you can change it anytime you want. Let's leave it at gray. And you could pick a image for the header. Work and school, illustration. It has so many options for you and they are free. You could upload, you could go to your photos anyhow you want it. No photos are from your account, obviously. So things, let's just work and school. So we just take, is that technology there? Technology. You can just pick this, anyone, anytime. So pick this, insert it. So here it is, your image. It makes the form more friendly and more more possible, yeah, something like that. So to the other options, preview, yeah, this, yeah, view form. So this is the preview, how your user is seeing the form. Yeah. Okay. So this is just it. Next. Okay, this is the preview. Oh, sorry. So if you probably you deleted something by mistake, you could come here and do undo. There you can also use Ctrl Z. Yeah, that works. Yes, Ctrl Z works too. Yeah, Ctrl Z works too. So it's very easy for you. You can use Ctrl C, Ctrl V if you want to copy text, if you want to paste text, if you want to cut. I mean, it's just so easy. Let's add our header back inside. Okay. So here you have it. More, you could make a copy. It's create another file for you. You could move it to the trash. You probably don't need form again. You don't see the need. You want to print it. You want to add collaborators. Yes, that was one of the benefits. I could add a collaborator to work on this with me. So I'll add my other mail just for you to see how it works. Okay, so Nimotalairaji. So here I am. So I could add someone else. Let's say Nemo. Yeah, this is my mail. Okay, got it. So I could add my other mail as an editor. Yeah, it's just editor. For Google Doc, you have editor, you have viewer, you have commentator. For this one, you have editor. So when you are sending the link to the person, so when the person gets the mail, it will notify the person that um so person has called you to work on this, to edit this form. So and you could also send your own message to them anytime. So they will work on it. They will be able to view. They will be able to delete the form. It is from any country in the world. You can work with it where Google works anyway. So this could be sent to someone in South Africa, um someone in Kenya, anywhere in the world you want. That is it. Okay. Now you also have settings. Viewers can see the option to, okay, if you don't want your viewers to see the option to download, print or copy, probably you don't want anybody to copy your form. Editors can change permissions and share. You don't want just anybody to be able to do that. You just want just yourself. You can just put this off anytime. So it depends on what you want. So let me just send this. So I'm going to get email notification. Ooh. Oh, sure, anyway. So it's telling me that the person is not in my organization because I'm using my student's mail. So it recognizes student.ui.edu. So if I send it to someone in the organization, I won't get that text. But you can also send it to someone away from the organization. Now, see it here, person added. Okay. So now this will be the last. Ooh, automatically collect respondents, University of Reward students mail. So here it is. If you want to start sending to people one by one, you can start sending it to them. So maybe you have a particular set of people that you want to send this to. So you can just put their mail here. Okay, I'm using my students, but I don't really have anybody here. So that's how that one works. So you could just put their email here, then the subject is practice, then you tell them I have invited you to fill out the form. You could change this to we change this to, or say, oh, here is a form for the practice. Check it out. So yeah, you can also add collaborators here too. So you could just send it to them. So here is where you can get the link. You can just, if you don't want the link to be so long, you can just shorten the URL. Then you copy it, Control C. So I'm going to be sending this to the channel for you to see it. And yeah, that's just it. Send file. So that's basically all. Then you can also share your form via Facebook, via Twitter. So that is all. Yeah, the responses. Let me before I forget, I said you could use an existing spreadsheet, or you could um Google Form is going to automatically create one for you. So here is create spreadsheet. So when you create spreadsheet, yeah, this is it. Create a new spreadsheet. So if you press create a new spreadsheet, it's going to create a new spreadsheet for you in your Google Drive. If you select existing spreadsheet, it's going to tell you to select the location. So as you're selecting the location, the responses of your users will be going to that spreadsheet or to the new spreadsheet you've created. So and it is going to be Google Sheet. This is the logo. This is the logo for Google Sheet. Now let's create a new spreadsheet. Create. So, and it's linking to the spreadsheet. You basically you don't have to do anything here. You don't have to stress yourself. You don't have to start racking your head. It's just quite easy. So yeah, here we have it. So it has a timestamp for whenever anybody, any user inputs submit. So it's going to tell you this user submitted. Aha. So I submitted this form 5:39. So it's going to tell you, and I submitted 3rd May. So score 0/2. Okay, I added this call later. Describe how your day went, the fastest animal on earth, what school do you attend? So all that, it's going to bring all the questions. So this is just very easy for you. If you are using a questionnaire now, you don't have to keep going through your papers. You can just come here and see what each user has inputted. It's just so easy. So let's submit another form just to see how this works. Is the lesson boring? Is it boring? Sorry, have I been boring? Yes, no, whichever one. Okay, let's use practice. Let's use this. Doesn't be boring? Yes. No, I don't know. Nima. And the user could also go back. Perhaps they skipped a question. Why is it so slow? Oh, my favorite app. I already set it to something I'm not supposed to set it to. So yeah, this is what I'm saying. You could do response validation. It's just like a logic trending, like what you want the person to actually input it inside. So this must be a number. Actually, the question does not tell you with what is there, but I made a mistake in the form. So let's just go with this for now. So back. Yeah. So here we are. Okay. Yes, and once you fill in Google Form, once you fill it, it will save your progress. So if you don't have internet connection at that moment, it is not going to save the progress. How you doing? It's awesome. Stressful. Chico. Resting. So I've uploaded the file. Rate the strawberry flavor. I need to give it a 3. Oh, come on. So I want UNSC. So first committee, I won't put, but I mean, it depends. Right. But just to show you how it works. Okay. United Nations Mission for Science and Technology. Next. You could also clear your form here. Clear your form here. Perhaps you want to take all the answers you have inputted. So a copy of your response will be emailed to you and Raji. So that's because I already set the default to send a copy of the mail to all the users whenever they submit. So submit. Yeah. So here it is. I didn't set the grading to manual. So whenever I submit it, it's going to submit automatically for you. And here submit another response. You can also edit this one if you just want the user to submit just once. Sorry about that. So you can view your score. So yeah, 2/2, faster than a man. Yes, keep going. So that's just that about that. So my response is going to come here automatically. Can you see? I understand. All this is showing because I'm, let's say, using all this in my student mail for the first time. So yeah, it's going to come here automatically. So that is just all for Google Forms. Thank you very much. Now, yeah, you could also view the answers there. The range. Aha, yeah, this is what I was talking about. How the number of responses, how many people have responded, what did they get? They got okay. About 15 people got 0, 15 people got 2, just one person got 1. Everything is going to show you. Oh, yeah, and this is the manual setting, release score. So when you release the score, it is going to send it to everybody, all respondents. Okay, send emails and release. So it depends on you when you want to release your score. So what is your name? So each response, you can view each responses here, the answers, how there's a pie chart too. I mean, that's awesome. You don't have to work anything. Google Form is there for you. So you could just view this in the folder. Google Form will automatically take it to folder. So you have it. How many people chose 3? How many people chose 0? So I mean, it's just so convenient. Very convenient. And your committee preference. It's okay, this is it. March 22, 5, 2 o'clock, United Nations 1. Yes, so that would be all for Google Form. So I would just like us. I'm going to send the link to the channel so everyone to just fill it and see how it works on your laptop and your mobile phones. Then I'll employ everyone to just give it a practice, give it a shot to just work on the Google Forms, and when when you are through with it, you can just send the link to my email or anywhere you want it or on the group. So I'm going to see it. Thank you very much. That will be all. You can also explore. There might be things that I might not have explained. There might be things that I probably might have skipped. So you can also explore it yourself. So here for this form is going to be put in my drive automatically. But if I want it to be in another place in my drive, I can also put it here. So you could move your form, you could star it. This is going to show in your Google Drive. Yeah. So that will be all. Thank you very much. Right. So see you next time. Thank you.